Okay, can everybody hear me? Are you guys hearing me? Okay, great. I got a good thumbs up. Want to say good evening. Welcome everyone. If you're not on mute, I'm going to ask you, please, sir, please, ma'am, if you would mute yourselves unless you're speaking. Want to welcome you this evening. My name is Willie Lightfoot, City Councilman at Large, Chairman of Rock Against Gun Violence Coalition. Want to welcome you to another one of our monthly meetings of Rock Against Gun Violence Coalition. Greetings to each and every one of you. So grateful to have you all here with us this evening. We have individuals that are here in person, as well as individuals, of course, those of you who are joining us via Zoom. This meeting is also being streamed live on the City Council YouTube page. So we also welcome all of those who will be listening later. It will also be shared later on the Rock Against Gun Violence Coalition Facebook page. Our council member Lachey Harris and our folks from the media team will be making sure that that information gets placed on our Rock Against Gun Violence Coalition Facebook page. So you'll be able to share the link from this meeting to whoever you may choose to share this meeting with. But prior to us getting into our agenda tonight, we are always accustomed to making sure in tradition that we have a moment of silence, recognizing all of the people who have impact. As of late, of just recently, a 21-year-old is brought to my attention, homicide that happened on last night on Genesee Street has lost his life. So there is another family that is mourning today, along with all of the rest of the families that we all know who have been impacted by this gun violence within our community. So we're going to take an opportunity right now to have a moment of silence to recognize and to honor all of the victims and those impacted by violence in our community. Amen. So what we're going to do typically, we're going to go around the room, have introductions. We'll start in-house first and let individuals introduce themselves. We do have some very special guests with us, both virtually and in person, and we want them to announce themselves, who they are, and then we'll go around our Hollywood squares and have our introductions there. And then we'll get into, and Shani just joined on, who's also part of our media team. And then we'll get into the rest of our meeting agenda for today. So I'll start with myself. I'll just introduce me. Of course, you know, Willie Lightfoot, Chairman, Rock Against Gun Violence Coalition, City Councilman at Large.
Miguel Melendez, City Council President.
Louis Aponte, American Medical Response.
Councilman Edward Hines, President of the 6th Precinct, Church of Council in Brooklyn, New York.
Brooklyn in the house, y'all.
Morgan Chansky, the Special Projects Coordinator with the God Squad from Brooklyn.
I'm Marianne Smith, and I'm legislative aide for Councilman Smith.
Actually, Gilman Rose. I am the Fed Advisor to the Mayor of New York City, Eric Adams, and the National Convener for the 6 years.
All right, so we have a lot of the contingency here from Brooklyn. We're glad to have them. Josie, you're next up.
Good evening, everyone. Josie McCleary. I am the president of the 19th Ward Community Association, as well as Monroe County Community and Engagement Officer. And I'm from Brooklyn. Welcome, Brooklyn.
Thank you.
All right, Ms. Danita.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. My name is Miss Danita. I'm from Rock the Peace. I do coordinate for Why My Baby and hashtag Cold Case and Youth for Peace.
Welcome. Kathy.
Hi, I'm Kathy. I'm a volunteer for Rock Against Gun Violence Coalition under the leadership of Councilman Willie Lightfoot. And I'm also a volunteer for Brady United Against Gun Violence.
Welcome. Shani.
I am Shawnee Williams,
I work with Rock Against Gun Violence on the media team. I'm also with Morgan Williams Youth Advocate Program.
Melissa,
Hi, I am Melissa Hensley. I'm here with Moms Demand Action.
welcome.
Thank you.
Helen,
Hi, I'm Helen Moreno. I'm here for myself as a peacenik and horrified by the gun violence in Rochester and a citizen here. But also I'm serving on behalf of the Asbury First United Methodist Church. And our minister, Stephen Cady, will be attending your faith-based event. I think it's tomorrow, right, Willie?
that's correct. That is correct.
Right. So he will be there, and I'm just representing him through this forum to keep us all engaged.
Yeah, I believe, Helen, one of your colleagues from out of town, Heather Furlan, reached out to me, to my office with the Asbury Church as well. So we're so excited to have your church. You guys, like I said to you before, you do some amazing work in this community. So it's really a blessing to have you guys on board. Thank you and welcome. Melissa.
Thank you, Willie.
I'm sorry, I introduced myself. I'm with Moms Demand
Okay.
Action.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Andre. You gotta unmute, Andre, if you hear. There you go.
Is that better?
Yes, sir.
All right. Andre Gully, lead assistant for the Rock Against Gun Violence Coalition and legislative aide for Councilman Willie Lightfoot.
Tony.
Good evening. I'm Tony Nelson, Program Manager for 585 SNUG and CEO and founder of M Squared Foundation for Peace and Social Change.
Welcome, Tony. Victor Saunders. You're muted, sir. I know you said you were having some audio issues. I don't know if you still are, but right now you're muted.
Yeah,
There you
you're
go.
talking to me.
Yeah, we're talking to you, Vic.
You guys are fading in and out. I hope you can hear me. Victor
Yes, we can.
Saunders, Mayor's Advisor on Violence Prevention Programs.
Wonderful. Welcome, Vic. Vanessa,
And now I can't hear you again.
is everybody else hearing me okay though? I think everybody else, Vic, that might be on your end.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
Okay, maybe you want to log off, log back on, maybe?
Yeah, I'm
Possibly?
gonna try and put it on my phone.
Okay, wonderful. We have Vanessa, right?
Yep. So hi, my name is Vanessa Hobbs. I am the Director of Community Intervention Services with Ibero.
Wonderful, welcome. Serena?
Hello, everyone. This is Serena Cotton, founder and president of Rock the Peace, a community-based organization here in Rochester.
Welcome, welcome. And we're looking for you to be a part of the conversation about victims tomorrow, Serena, at the summit, if you're able to make it. Xavier.
Good afternoon. My name is Xavier Major, and I'm a 30-year victim of gun violence survivor, bound by a wheelchair, paralyzed, but I've been very involved in the community. I'm part of a couple of organizations that have also assisted and incorporated members of gun violence that are left with disabilities to provide them opportunities to get involved with disabled sports in the community. Two of the organizations that I'm closely associated with are Rochester Accessible Adventures. The other one is Endless Highways. I'm also the head coach of the Rochester wheelchair basketball team in the area, again, which has several members that are victim of gun violence. So.
Wow, well, it's a pleasure to have you here with us, sir. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
Rochelle.
It's just a beyond blessing to be in this space. Thank you for having me. My name is Rochelle Hunley. I'm the new director of Crime Guns for Brady United. Prior to being with Brady, I worked in hospital-based violence intervention programs, So I've had the honor of working with survivors and victims for the last 10 years. And so again, just happy to be a part of this space. And thank you for having me here.
Yes, Rochelle, and I believe I saw your colleague on board too, I think, but I'm sorry.
Yeah, Hannah. Yeah, Hannah isn't expected to come in until about 11:30 tonight.
Oh, gotcha, right.
So she may be headed to the airport now.
Right, so we appreciate our Brady folks from out of town. We're very excited about the summit we're having in the morning. We're looking for a great summit tomorrow. We have quite a few people who registered, so we're really excited about individuals. Make sure you share that information tonight if you would like. It is on all of our social media pages. And so we typically have Captain Mura from RPD typically with us to give us a report. He's logging on, he's transitioning right now, but he should be here in a minute. So we'll, and our crisis, do we have anybody from crisis intervention team with us? Did I miss anybody on the Hollywood Square? All right, I didn't miss anybody, right? Do we have, I miss, Aaliyah told me she could not be with us today. So, but if we don't have anybody with us there, we'll go straight into Advisor of Violent Prevention Programs with Vic Saunders. Vic, you got the floor, Doc.
Okay, great. First of all, I'm looking forward to the conference tomorrow and all of our partners coming in from around the state. Right now, what we're doing is we are looking in the Office of Violence Prevention Programs, looking to fill the position for Office of Neighborhood Safety, the coordinator position, as well as we're looking to fill a couple of positions for the neighborhood change agents. So that's what we're working on currently. We're getting ready for our basketball tournament that will be in August, as well as the schedule for our Peace Barbecues have gone out. And most of you should have already received the flyer for the Peace Barbecues. They're going to be starting, I believe, next week on Iceland and Jefferson, right down the road from you. And we'll be going to 5 different targeted neighborhoods within the community. We'll be doing that in conjunction with some of the uplifts that the neighborhood service centers will be doing in those same targeted areas. So we're excited about getting out and, getting to spend some time with some of our residents that we sometimes don't get a chance to see. So we're looking forward to that. I had reported last month on the success of our union-sponsored job fair. We had a number of individuals get hired through that, as well as some that have signed up for pre-apprenticeship and apprenticeship programs. So we're very excited about that. This past weekend, partnering with the Healthy Baby Network, the team was able to work with them and do a bike giveaway. And the fatherhood component that was originally an idea of Van White's, the No Cap group, we were able to work with a number of individuals from the community and serve some food and have a good time. So it went well. We are looking forward to not only your conference tomorrow, but also we have another conference on Thursday. I don't have the information right in front of me. I know I'm on the panel for it. I just know I'll be there.
Right. Hey, Vic, if you don't mind, sir, just before our folks that's in the room, I see Captain Murray just logging on from RPD. If you don't mind, just, give us a high level of your office and how unique that is, because, you're the first to be in that position under the mayor. That's correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if you could just give us a high level, I know you're juggling a lot of balls. I understand that, Vic. I'm not asking you to go through in detail, but just kind of a high level of some of the priorities and some of the main things that you guys, some of the work that you helped sponsor and help launch through your position.
Okay, well, first of all, I was brought in as the mayor's advisor to violence prevention programs, and it seemed to have morphed into something a lot larger. In other cities, the Office of Violence Prevention has basically been used as a vehicle to house the Advanced Peace Outreach Program. But in the city of Rochester, what we've been lucky enough to do was not only to have the Advanced Peace model in our office, but also to have Pathways to Peace, which is, I would consider, our flagship outreach component. It's been around since 1998. We have the Advanced Peace model out of California, which really targets those more gun-involved individuals from one geographic space within the city. Right now, we're targeting the 10th Ward, which is the Dewey Corridor. And it's for individuals who within the last 6 months to 12 months have been involved as a victim or an assailant in a violent crime. The idea is intergenerational mentorship and working on life maps and involving individuals in making milestone changes within their life that could lead to them avoiding the criminal justice system and the cemetery. Also, in my 16 years of doing street outreach and gang intervention, a large component of that work had to do with reentry. When I was appointed to this position, reentry was definitely a big component of what I wanted to do, and the mayor allowed me to hire a reentry coordinator. That's Mr. Thaxton Hamlin, who's phenomenal. It allows us the opportunity to work with individuals pre and post incarceration. We do recognize that although individuals leave our city and have to deal with consequences of some past bad actions, they're coming home. Most of them are not going away and staying away. They're coming back home. And we want to make sure those individuals have every opportunity to be successful citizens upon return. So we focus our efforts on making sure that resources are available to them upon returning home, employment, housing, all those different barriers that we recognize cause some individuals to pick up a firearm in order to be able to deal with the stressors of having to financially support not only themselves, but others and things of that nature. We want to, replace all those barriers and put positivity in the way of negativity and allow them the opportunity to be successful. Also, within our office, we have the Rochester Peace Collective. The Rochester Peace Collective was started as an opportunity to allow grassroots organizations that otherwise would not have been able to apply for federal and state funding to get a leg up with funding that we offer through the city to get them started within the next 2 to 3 years to build the infrastructure so that when this American Rescue Plan Act funding goes away, they will have the infrastructure in place to be able to apply for those state and federal grants to allow them to continue doing the great work that they do. Right now, we have 20 vendors that are working with us to supply reentry, conflict resolution, youth development, and other services within the city. And the idea behind the Rochester Peace Collective is not only are they working for the community, but they're working in conjunction and collaboration with other members of the collective. So those are the different things that we have currently going on at the Office of Violence Prevention. We recognize that with the holistic approach that we're taking to violence prevention, that it affects the entire family. And we want to make sure that we offer resources and alternatives to every individual within that household. Because if you just work on one particular situation within that household and don't try and fix the entire house, you put that individual that has gotten to work back into a broken situation. You can't expect that person to continue doing the great work that you've already put in and what they've already put in. So that's who we are currently. We're very excited about the work that we're doing. We are part of the National League of Cities, and a lot of different cities are reaching out to us around the work that we're completing.
Thank you, Mr. Saunders. Before we go into questions, because we get the reports from all of the different ones working in that space. We have questions, then we open up for dialogue sometimes, but I appreciate the work that you do. Typically, Miss Aaliyah Hinton Williams is with us. She couldn't be with us today. I'm sure she's out in the field. She's our crisis intervention coordinator, which was one of the things that was sparked out of the Rock Against Gun Violence Coalition along with the Homicide Response Unit. But does anybody have any questions for Mr. Saunders? All right.
Can I just jump in real quickly?
Absolutely, Josie, go ahead.
Mr. Saunders, I heard you mention about the Peace Barbecue. I just checked my emails and I wasn't informed of that or got the flyer. Is there any way that someone can send that out, please?
Yep, I will get that out to you, Josie, immediately.
Thank you.
Before we get off this call, you'll have it.
That sounds perfect. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much. That's one of the things is getting information, connecting people to the resources, sharing information is powerful for us to be able to do as well too. I want to thank you, Mr. Saunders, for that. I think he's logged up probably to send you that information.
Hey, I'm sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to
yes, Xavier, go ahead.
Mr. Saunders can provide the dates for that basketball tournament.
I will get that out to you. We're just now, matter of fact, getting our advertising up for that, and I'll make sure to get that out to you as well. If you could put your email in the chat, that would be great.
Also, Vic, send this stuff over. CC Andre in, and what we've been doing is we've been creating a kind of a ongoing calendar of events, and at the end, we'll be asking the rest of you of some of the events you're doing. We're really trying to coordinate our events so that we're not competing with one another. We want to be supporting each other in our events, right? That makes us stronger. So since the pandemic, and we finally kind of getting our feet under us, so to speak. Last year, we found ourselves events were happening at the same time. So we don't want to do that this year. With our summer months being so short here in Rochester, we want to make sure that we're coordinated together. So please, Mr. Saunders, if you always include Andre and all of you, when you're doing events, please send them to myself and Andre so that we can keep that running calendar and we can keep everybody in our coalition members informed and we can support each other. All right.
Well, I've just sent both. Matter of fact, I just sent the basketball flyer and the barbecue flyer.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Miss Aaliyah isn't here, but we have Captain Mura with us from RPD. Rochester Police Department. Captain Mura, the floor is yours, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Sorry I'm late, everybody. I just have a little bit of information. I'm actually in the middle of working a detail, so I came in off the road to get this out to you. Couple of answers from last month's meeting, but before I get to those, I'll give you the stats. Year to date, I believe we have 19 homicides, 19 different incidents, 73% of those were gun related. Shootings, we are at 87 events with 98 total victims. The average age of our victims thus far in our shootings is 25 years old. Couple of the questions from last month that I was able to get answers for. One of the questions was asked, what was the average time to crime when a gun was purchased? So the average time to crime for the guns that we have from New York State is 9 years. Another question was local dealers and if there are any major issues with local dealers that appears that one dealer over another has more incidents with guns being utilized in crimes. And at this point, it doesn't appear that any dealer has an unusually large percentage. Any differences in percentages correlates with the vast amount of sales that particular may have. So I think the percentage is equal, fairly close across the board. And another question that we had that I was able to get an answer for was if we had any local stores that we were aware of where guns were being sold in the stores illegally. And the answer to that is no, we're not aware of any at this point. And if we develop information about a store selling these, we would absolutely address it immediately. That's what I have for updates for everybody. Doesn't look like I have any other answers. I think there were one or two other questions I couldn't get an answer for at this point.
Thank you, Captain Mura. Does anybody have any questions for Captain Mura? All right, oh, Josie, go ahead. I see you on mute.
Yeah, and I don't know if this is the proper forum to ask this question, but as the president of the 19th Ward Association, Channel 10 News just reached out to me wanting to interview about the shooting that happened on Genesee Street. I'm not inclined to do that, obviously. So can I talk to you offline if that's okay?
Yeah, 100%. Give me a call right after the meeting if you want.
Okay, thanks.
Captain Muir, I have a question.
Go ahead, Kathy.
Hi, Captain Muir, it's Kathy, and I'm just wondering if you could give me some advice or help me. I've been reaching out to the New York State Police for about 6 months. I recently did hear back from them. I'm contacting them to find out whether or not they're enacting S4970, the Gun Dealer Code of Conduct in New York State, now required as of last December to be enforced. We're trying to get someone from the Superintendent of Police's office to come in and address the coalition about that law and its importance of being enforced to ensure that any gun dealers that are out of compliance or found to have infractions are being addressed, and we'd like to know how they're being addressed. I'm not successful in getting them to respond. I was wondering if you could help. And my other part of my question is, are they interfacing with you to help you and support you on the gun violence problem in Rochester?
Yes. To answer both your questions, part one, I will reach out to the state police and get somebody to get in contact with you. If you could send me an email with your phone number, I'll have them contact you as soon as possible. Part two, I can't thank the state police enough. They give us almost unlimited support. Obviously, they have restraints with their staffing as well, but whenever we ask for help, they step up to the plate, and they've been helping us out tremendously. They're in the city at least a couple of days every single week helping us out. And I'm pretty confident that their assistance within the city has prevented multiple shootings and probably some homicides. And I know for a fact that they've helped take many guns off the street.
That's good to know. Thank you for sharing that.
You are welcome. Don't forget to send the email.
Yes, sir.
Does anybody have any other questions for Captain Muir? Okay, Captain Muir, thank you as usual, man. We appreciate you. You are one of our Rock Against Gun Violence Coalition day one, and you've been with us from the beginning, and you continue rock with us, man. And we appreciate you. Stay safe. I heard you said you were on the detail, so stay safe out there, brother.
Absolutely. Thank you. And thank everybody that's here. Everybody takes their time to be here as well. So I feel the same way. So thank you.
Yeah, appreciate you. Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna forego our crisis intervention update, and I'll go right into my chairman's report. And the folks from Brady as well as Kathy can jump in, and Rochelle if you want. Just, you know, most of you should have known or should have seen, because, you know, we got a lot of great coverage about, and we're very excited to be able to finally introduce our gun trace data report to this community. It's an historic event. So I want to say, you know, congratulations to all of the Rock Against Gun Violence Coalition members who have been so diligent as we've been working to try to get this done through 2 mayors, 2 administrations, 2 city councils, 6 police chiefs. And we're still here, and we were able to get this done on last week. Unfortunately, we had a redacted version that we had to introduce to the community, but it wasn't redacted by much, I will say that, maybe 3 pages. However, there is a lot of information in there that I think is very eye-opening in regards to the gun problem and trafficking issue that we're having in our community. One of the most big points of reference for me in that report, and there are many, was that 10% of the gun dealers are providing 55% of the crime guns in our community. What we also saw in this report is that majority of these guns that are coming in, being trafficked into our community are coming from the suburbs. Okay, we know that without a shadow of a doubt. Now we have the data to prove that. And so that is a conversation that we're going to have to continue around this report. So we're encouraging and inspiring everyone to take a deep dive into that report. We're looking for you guys to also be a part of the summit we're having tomorrow. Part of the discussion tomorrow will be on the report. We will be discussing that. We plan to put that report in the hands of the Attorney General tomorrow as well. And we're really looking to, we're going to be starting to meet a little more often. We'll have our committees will be meeting a little more frequently because we have made a promise to come up with an action plan as we have done in the past. This coalition provided an action plan to the former administration, mayor and administration, and to the former council. And out of that action plan, we received the crisis intervention coordinator and team. Some of the PIC team stuff came out of that. The homicide response unit, trauma unit came out of that, as well as consolidating our investigators to treat shootings just like they treat homicides, which we ended up with an 89.3% arrest rate on our homicides as a result of that. And we saw a spike going up in our arrest rates for shootings when they began to consolidate investigators. So all of those ideas came out of the Rock Against Gun Violence Coalition, to include the gun trace data report that was a historic report that we provided to this community. So there are some recommendations within that report that we want to see and advocate that they get done. There were recommendations that were recommended to us offline that we want to have discussions and conversations about with this coalition. And then we want to hear the community's recommendations and ideas based on after they've digested that information. And then we want to put together within the next 90 days an action plan to this mayor, this city council, and to this community that's very public facing and public driven. All right, so Andre will be working to get out a calendar of dates where we'll be having our hybrid meetings again. We're not going to inconvenience anybody. We're doing this, we're being intentional about what we learned. One of the good things that came out of the pandemic was that it taught mom and dad and grandmother and other ones how to use Zoom, which was a blessing because probably none of us ever saw that before or knew about that. It opened up a whole new window for us, as well as the fact, due to the governor's emergency situation that was put forth, we as government were meeting hybridly as well too, or virtually. And so we learned from the public that they liked the transparency of that. So that's why we're being intentional about making our meetings, we want them to feel safe. So you can come here at City Hall, there's security here. We have free parking in the back after 6 o'clock. It's on the bus line. Everybody knows where City Hall is. We try to do it at a time. Our meetings are only an hour. Y'all know how I am about not having long meetings, maybe an hour 15 at the most. We are making them available on Zoom, and we're making them available on our city council stream live on the YouTube page so that individuals can go back and listen to those conversations later if they missed the meeting. So there's no excuse for people to have the opportunity to attend these meetings, and even from your own kitchen, living room, workplace, etc. So we will make these other meetings, these meetings that we're going to be having to put together this action plan available the same way. They'll be the same way, and we'll make sure that everyone gets that information. And this table is open for anyone. You'll hear me say that every month. Y'all hear me say that every month. And you don't know how much it grieves me when I look out into this building in this room and it's not packed, right? But people, God forbid, a police officer shoots somebody, you know what I'm saying? Then we see a whole different type of energy. 21-year-old kid was killed last night. We want to see that same energy, right? Around all lives in our community And, this council's been working extremely hard to do everything we can do to educate, advocate, and eradicate around violence within our community, to include bringing individuals from outside, having this summit on tomorrow. But we're going to be consistent in making sure that we're going to be here for our community to voice their concerns and opinions around in this space. Now, this table is open to anyone who shares the same common goal. Though I'll be specific and clear about that, though, that shares the same common goals of educating, advocating, and eradicating against gun violence in our community. So that's what this table is set for. So we are making a promise and a declaration that we're going to have that action plan collectively. We're going to design that together. It won't be the Willie Lightfoot plan. It won't be the Kathy plan. It's going to be the Rock Against Gun Violence Coalition's action plan to this mayor and to this city council. I'm grateful to have President of City Council has been joining us in our meetings. Miguel Melendez, he's been with us on the forefront, a big advocate, staunch advocate for the work that we're doing. I don't know if you have any words that you want to say, Mr. President.
Yes, thank you. Well, I think I want to say what everyone on the Zoom square and probably everyone in the room wants to say, which is thank you, Willie, for your work on this. This has been a long time coming, this report. I've read it. It's excellent. Still reading it, still rereading it. Certainly there's some more information that I wish I could see in the redacted side, but overall, looking forward to the conference tomorrow. And I'm glad to be here every month supporting your work, and outside of this, supporting your work. So thank you all. And thank you all for your commitment too. This is the long game. This is long work, hard work, but we got to keep at it. And I appreciate you.
Thank you, brother. So that's all I kind of, Kathy, I don't know if Kathy wants to go into a little bit about it, or Ms. Huntley, but
yes.
Go ahead.
I just want to echo what the vice president said, or the president said, that this is incredibly rare for cities to release these types of reports. There's only a handful that joined Rochester in putting out this type of transparency report. And this work was made possible because of you, Councilman Lightfoot, and the hard work that Kathy also has put in. And so just incredibly grateful for the work that you all have done over the last several years. Gun violence is incredibly reactionary. There's a lot of pain, there's a lot of hurt, but this does take time, and it does take a lot of sweat and tears and elbow grease. And so I just thank you guys for your patience. I thank you guys for just being incredibly with just continuing to push through with Brady to get this done. We will go into tomorrow some more of the details of the reports, as well as helping folks to understand like the supply side solutions to gun violence. This work, as we know, our survivors and perpetrators are victims. And so getting folks to understand the racial justice aspect of gun violence, getting folks to understand that, the quickest way to address some of the root causes is removing the guns themselves. And so hoping that tomorrow we'll have really fruitful conversations around addressing gun dealers and the supply side. And so excited about tomorrow and hope to see you all in person. And thank you again. I can't thank you enough, Kathy and Councilman Lightfoot, for your work on getting this report published.
Thank you, Ms. Huntley. We appreciate you as well and the work that you're doing, and we're excited about diving more into the conversation tomorrow. Kathy, I know you got something to say. Come on, Kathy.
Well, actually, there is something really important, and I hope Mr. Saunders gets this as well. A lot of bills just passed in New York State. I'll just consolidate it to one that we need to call the governor about. It's the Medicaid for CVI funding. It was passed in both the Assembly and in the Senate. We want the governor to sign that bill, because that bill is going to allow the state to allow Medicaid funding to be used for community violence intervention programs, like the programs Mr. Saunders is leading on, Pathways to Peace, like Rise Up Rochester, Rock the Peace. So these programs are built on the blood of our children. And this funding is critical to keeping those programs going. So I'll send a note to Mr. Andre about it. And then everybody needs to hammer the governor's office. We want that signed into law. It's really important. And then the only other thing I have, Councilman, is just that I probably should hold back. I figured that you were going to ask me about next steps, but maybe you want me to hold back on that right now until we all convene as a coalition to discuss.
Yeah, Kathy, I don't want to preempt anybody. I want to make sure that every voice is heard, that before we actually launch next steps, let's come together. Let's, look at the information. Let's look at the recommendations that Brady has put out. Let's look at some of the ones we've already discussed, and then let's get recommendations from others, and then narrow them down and prioritize them and start working to iron out our action plan.
And that's it.
Yeah,
Thank you, Kathy. And I'm gonna tell you, this gun trace data report, if anybody, you can't do anything by yourself. Of course, it took all of us, the collective, but I'm telling you, someone who stayed, many times I wanted to quit, I wanted to give up, I got tired, those type of things. And Kathy would be the one putting the battery on my back saying, you can't quit, you can't give up, you're not alone, it's gonna happen, don't give up. And I'm gonna tell you, after like 5 police chiefs, you start thinking, and the civil unrest and all of the things that we went through here in Rochester, the pandemic, this was quite the journey to stay consistent and to want to keep going. And I will tell you that, but I'm grateful that we did, because I'm so proud of the work that we've done in this space. It looks like I had Ms. Huntley unmute, then it looked like Hannah unmuted, then it looked like Helen unmuted. So maybe in that order, if we can go, I'll get to all of you. Thank you.
Yeah, I just had a quick follow-up to what Kathy was saying about the CVI legislation with Medicaid reimbursement. That's also an effort that our Brady policy team supports. And so if anyone is in need of any sample letters, language, needs to be walked through conversations, help with getting meetings with your local representatives, please reach out. I'll put my email in the chat. That's another effort that we support. And we also have folks on the ground talking to legislatures now to make sure that that's passed. And it's, as Kathy said, incredibly important in funding the grassroots and community-based work.
Thank you.
Absolutely. My colleague, Rochelle just actually said it. My name is Hannah Jones, Director of Organizing. And thank you so much, Kathy. Kathy is on the ground. She is from Rochester. She is from the community, but that would be my role, right, is to assist Kathy and you all to empower those who are doing this work. And I wanted to mention exactly what Rochelle said. We do have policy support in that way. We do have advocacy support, storytelling support, and we can definitely talk about that and network tomorrow. Rochelle put her email in the chat, but definitely you'll see me tomorrow. I'm actually getting off this call to get on a plane from DC to Rochester right now. Yeah, I tried. I was like, I think I can make it, so I jumped on this
we appreciate you, though.
But Kathy and Rochelle has you, and Kathy, thank you. I cannot wait to meet you. But she's that point of contact for Rochester. She's the one who's going to day in, day out, like you said, get it done. So thank you for having us. And sorry that 3 Brady folks took up this time, but they are definitely wonderful folks, and we'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Helen.
Thank you. Mine's a quick question. I was pulled away as you were giving the report on the summit. And I wanted to know, do you have the gun dealers at the summit to be engaged in being on a panel or anything that would have them here and be able to relay any efforts that they could do to resolve some of this?
So just the first part of it, the summit is tomorrow. It's from 8:30 to 3:30 p.m.
Right.
At 270 Cumberland Street, Per House Church of God by Faith. And so to answer your question, we do not as of yet, but I think that is a great action item recommendation. And that's something that we could do. And we have this information, so Andre's taking notes. And so we'll make sure that we add that as something that would be amazing. I don't even think we've ever seen anything like that before.
I think it would be a wonderful
I think that'd be incredible.
interaction with the coalition that demonstrates if they
Yeah.
feel that they are so law-abiding and protective in how they're distributing or allowing gun purchasing, they need to hear where somehow the loopholes or the looseness is not a blaming. This is a shared issue. You are neighbors and residents here. We need to have you be part of it. And that, I think that would be outstanding.
I think it's awesome. And we're going to work to make that happen. Because you said that, I think this is a great transition. We have Michael P. Curran here, the resident agent in charge of U.S. Department of Justice, of Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives of the Rochester Field Office. ATF is in the building, y'all. So you know that Brooklyn brought ATF with him now. So I'm gonna give him an opportunity to share whatever however he feels he wants to come.
Oh,
Go ahead.
well, good evening, everyone. And where's the camera here so I can see?
The camera's right there.
Right there, okay.
Yeah, but they they see you and they can hear you. Just talk,
But good evening, everyone. Thanks for having me for here. Just want to let everyone know I'm the ETF supervisor here in Rochester, and we're dedicated to working with the community. And I'm glad you guys have me here. I'm looking forward to the summer tomorrow. And without the community, there's nothing as ATF or law enforcement can do. So we're looking forward to getting together with you guys tomorrow.
So that's a historic opportunity for the Rock Against Gun Violence Coalition to have the ATF join us, y'all. So this is big. We see you later, Vic. We see you tomorrow. This is big. We're excited. Everybody's on board. That's what this is all about. We got to get everybody to the table, and so that we can start having the tough answers and questions and dialogue and conversations about the gaps that we can fill in to help combat this violence within our community. And that's what the Rock Against Gun Violence Coalition is all about: educating, advocating, eradicating against this violence. Kathy, go ahead.
ATF agent, I'm sorry, I missed your name.
Sure, it's Michael Curran.
Curry?
Michael Curran.
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 Yes.
Thank you, Agent Curran, for being here. I have a quick question. One of the recommendations Mayor Evans referenced that Brady had given to them involves getting all our gun dealers to sign on to the Brady Gun Dealer Code of Conduct. Could we count on your support, since you're the agency that interfaces with all the gun dealers in New York State? Could we count on your support to call on all the gun dealers in New York State to sign our Gun Dealer Code of Conduct?
I'd have to take a look at it. I have not seen the particular code of conduct. And also, I'm the agent in Rochester here, but I will let you know there's compliant dealers and non-compliant dealers. And if there's a dealer is non-compliant with the law, ATF takes action on them.
Would it be okay with you if I send the link to the Brady Gun Dealer Code of Conduct? I could send it to Mr. Andre and he could forward it to you?
I'll take a look, but like I said, with ATF, I'm going to have other people look at it, so I'm not going to speak for the whole state right now. But look, we're about working with the community on this, and we want to make sure that the community is a safer place.
Thank you so much. We would be so grateful if you would look at it. I'm sure you're going to agree with everything in there. It's all based on ATF recommendations. So I'll make sure Mr. Andre gets it to you, and then maybe we could discuss it at our next meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for coming.
So we're glad to have you join as a partner with us. We're excited about that. And we encourage you to continue to be a part. And you're always welcome at this table. And we're hoping that the information you share with us and the information we can share with you, that we build that collaboration with the community. And we really appreciate your support. So listen, I'm getting ready to wrap it up. Okay. But I want our folks from Brooklyn, if y'all have any words you would like to say to our coalition or anything.
Yeah, I think, thank you.
Come on up to the table, Pastor Gil, just so they can hear you clearly, please. And introduce yourself again, just those who are in the back, and they may have not heard you clearly.
Good evening again. Thank you, Reverend Lightfoot, and all of you, Mr. President. Thank you so much. Gil Monroe, I'm pastor in Brooklyn, serving as the Fed advisor to the Mayor of New York City, Eric Adams, and the national convener for 31st Safe Cities. who's working along with Reverend Lightfoot and clergy around the nation and the country in urban cities, working to make sure that number one, communities is aware that faith leaders are interested in gun violence, and number two, that we do have the resources, the experience to help with reducing gun violence, and number three, working on collaborative work within the faith community to get that done. So I think that what we have heard tonight and what we have seen is exactly what we need across the country, is exactly what Rochester needs. And I think that we just have to understand that a problem that took many, many years to get to, divestment from our communities, making sure that we have polices correctly, putting the resources from city government, even though it's 10% of the population is creating 90% of the crime. What I would like to suggest is that we take 90% of the funding and give it to the 10%, attention to the 10% to create 100% balance off. But so what I've been hearing so far is on the track. We are learning, we're gleaning. New York City, they say, is the safest, biggest city. Yes, it is. That's the case in terms of what we've seen in throughout the country. But again, I think that one crime is one crime too many. 21-year-old who lost his life last night. The stats doesn't bear to the family. That's 100% of that person that they lost. So I would say just continue doing what you're doing, continue with the collaboration, and just make sure that the faith community is at the center of what we're doing so that we can be a helping hand to reduce the violence that we see in our cities and our communities. So thank you and see you all tomorrow, God willing.
All right, folks. So you know what I say, you ain't gotta go home. You're already here, some of y'all. You got here. All right, God bless you. We hope to see a lot of you tomorrow. Andre sent out the information. You all should have, please share it on your social medias, etc. Please share this link. Go to the YouTube page, City Council, YouTube page, Rochester City Council, and share this link so that folks can be informed and see the great things that are happening, how the coalition is expanding, growing, and we're inviting everyone to please come out. Our coalition meetings, once again, are every second Monday of every month at City Hall, 30 Church Street, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. They're hybrid meetings, they're virtual and in person, as well as shared on our City Council YouTube page. So once again, we want to thank you again for all of our partners. We appreciate all of you for taking out this time monthly with us. We're going to be pushing on you a little bit more. We're going to be meeting probably twice a month so that we can get through this action plan and present that in a timely fashion. So you'll be hearing a little bit more from Andre around that and scheduling meetings around that so we can start diving in and putting in the work and get this action plan together. And then after the action plan, we actually got to do the action. We got to do the work, right? So, we're committed to this. I'm committed to this. I know you are. And I thank you for all of you, especially those of you, Rise Up Rochester, Rock the Peace, various ones that I've seen who are on the ground daily, Shawnee and different ones working in your spaces, Tony and all of you who are working in your space, Xavier, working in your spaces on the ground, doing this work every day. I know it's tireless work that you don't often get credit for, or I know you don't even want credit for, or you wish you didn't have to do, but we appreciate you doing that, and we pray and bid you Godspeed. All right? Blessings. Good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Good night. Thank you.
Thank you,
Good night,
ATL.
everybody.
Good night, all.
Thanks, Lily.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Pleased to meet you.
Yeah,
Thank you
nice to
for
meet
coming.
well.
Yes.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Thank you for having me. Yes, thank you.
You were few on your words. You weren't giving them